A driver gave a lift to a stranger near a graveyard, and within minutes, he wished he never stopped. It was 2 a.m. Heavy rain, an empty highway covered in fog. A man was driving home alone in his luxury car. Then suddenly, he noticed someone standing beside the road, a man holding a black umbrella, right next to an old graveyard. The stranger knocked softly on the window. "Can you drop me ahead? I work here, at the graveyard." The driver hesitated for a second, then unlocked the door. The stranger quietly sat inside. Cold smile. Something about him felt strange. The driver tried to act normal. Late night. The stranger stared outside the window and whispered slowly. "You get used to dead people after some time." The driver laughed nervously. The stranger continued calmly. "You know what's strange about this graveyard? Most people buried here didn't die naturally." The driver said nothing, but his hands tightened on the steering wheel. Something about the stranger felt wrong. But a few minutes later, the stranger suddenly revealed a secret that changed everything. The creepy passenger suddenly started laughing, and the terrified driver couldn't understand why. The stranger kept talking about death, about an accident, about spirits trapped between worlds. Rain kept hitting the windshield. The stranger looked toward the graveyard and whispered, "Sometimes, people still see them walking at night." The driver swallowed nervously. The stranger slowly turned toward him and smiled, "Especially near this road." The driver tried changing the topic, but the stranger kept speaking softly, like he was enjoying the fear. 3 years ago, a man disappeared here. People say he still asks strangers for lifts. Driver was clearly disturbed now. Now he was genuinely scared. Then suddenly, the stranger slowly leaned closer. His face looked pale now, unnaturally pale. He whispered, "What if he's sitting beside you right now?" The driver panicked and immediately slammed the brakes. The car stopped beside the graveyard. Silence. Then lightning flashed, and for 1 second, the stranger's eyes looked completely black. The driver screamed, but suddenly, the stranger burst out laughing. But a few minutes later, the stranger suddenly revealed who he really was. The creepy passenger suddenly started laughing, and the terrified driver couldn't understand why. He burst out laughing. The driver looked confused. The stranger pulled out a hidden camera from inside his jacket and smiled. "Relax, man. It's just a prank." The driver stared silently. The stranger laughed harder. "Bro, your reaction was perfect. I make horror prank videos for YouTube." The driver finally relaxed a little, even smiled. The stranger leaned back proudly. "Honestly, for a second, I thought you were actually scared." The driver looked outside the window, toward the graveyard, and quietly replied, "I was." The smile slowly disappeared from the prankster's face. "Wait, you actually believe in ghosts?" The driver nodded slowly. "Yes." The prankster laughed awkwardly. "Come on, man. Ghosts aren't real." The driver looked straight ahead and whispered, "They are. When you've seen one." The atmosphere inside the car suddenly changed. Cold, heavy, uncomfortable. Then the driver told him something that made the prankster stop smiling forever. The driver claimed he died on that same road 3 years ago. Rain kept crashing against the windows. The road ahead looked endless. The driver spoke quietly. 3 years ago, my car crashed near this graveyard." The prankster smirked. "Nice story." But the driver didn't react. "I was badly injured. still alive. I kept asking for help. The prankster rolled his eyes. "Bro, your acting is insane." The driver slowly turned toward him and whispered. Nobody stopped. The prankster's smile faded slightly. Then suddenly, the luxury car's TV screen turned on by itself. An old news report started playing. 3 years ago, businessman Arman Khanna died in a horrific highway accident near Blackwood Graveyard. A photo appeared on the screen. The prankster's heartbeat stopped for a second. It was the driver. Same face, same clothes, same eyes. The TV continued. Locals claim his spirit still roams the highway late at night. The prankster slowly looked toward the driver. His hand started shaking. And when lightning flashed outside, the prankster finally saw what was sitting beside him. The driver's face was no longer human. Lightning flashed across the highway. For 1 second, the prankster saw the driver clearly. Burnt skin, black hollow eyes. The prankster screamed. "What the hell are you?" The driver smiled slowly, but his smile looked unnatural now. "Dead." The prankster grabbed the door handle. Locked. He tried opening the window. Nothing worked. His phone had no signal. The driver's voice became deeper, distorted. "Do you know what's worse than death?" The prankster shook violently. The ghost whispered, "Dying alone, while people only watch." Suddenly, the headlights disappeared into darkness, and the car vanished down the empty road. But the curse of that graveyard continues. The next night, 2 a.m., another car passed the graveyard. The driver noticed someone standing beside the road, holding an umbrella, asking for a lift. The car stopped. The stranger slowly stepped closer, then lifted his face. It was the prankster. Some ghosts are born after death. Others are created by fear.
Subscribe to Night Lore, ring the bell, and enter the darkness.